We are back and locked in after a week hiatus. Pre-market prep has returned. We could not have had a better week with the Kaizen AI education event. We went over a crap ton of AI stocks, right? Stocks and sectors that are poised to continue to rocket with this next wave of AI explosion. It is just getting started. If you think you're going to wait it out, and you're like, oh, I've missed NVIDIA, and this is, I've missed NVIDIA and I've got no other chances. We went over like 50 of them, right, in all different sectors that are poised to explode. We went over exactly why we see this AI bubble continuing to inflate and propagate until an actual year, right, that was given. We went over how to use these tools from square one, starting out with what is artificial intelligence, what is Gen AI, and working our way all the way up to AI enabled integrations and automations. So it was an absolutely amazing event, talking about a number of different ways that you can implement AI into both your personal and professional life, right? In order to make it easier, decrease friction, save time, save money, as well as make more money. And we live in a time right now where opportunity absolutely abounds. And if you're not grabbing onto it, it's frankly because you just don't want to, because it's too easy now for you to create other revenue streams for yourself, both in markets and using artificial intelligence. So let's continue to do that. And in the spirit of Kaizen, right, we live that each and every day through this session, getting 1% better each and every day. So I'm, honored and amazed that we had almost 50 people in that event. I'm excited to see how they leverage this information in order to change their lives for the better. And continue to stay on the cutting wave of, what is the now, not the future. AI is the now. It's not. I want to make that very, very clear. If everyone thinks they still have time, it's not that, right? If this is 2022, AI will be the future. This is the now, right? It is currently permeating throughout all of society and is causing lasting changes to, employee workloads, the number of employees and companies have, et cetera, et cetera. So, coming off an amazing week, and I could not have picked really. The reason why I picked that week is because it was also kind of a crusty week for markets, in that we had a holiday in the middle of the week, with Juneteenth, where markets were off, right? Markets were closed, and then also we had triple witching on Friday, right? It was either triple witching or quad witching, which have a number of different, you know, uh, kind of financial tools that have expirations on that day. So you can get a lot of weird movement, rebalancing, stuff like that. So overall, it was a great week to take off. And that discernment in markets is really important. There are people that blew their accounts trying to day trade the action from Friday, right? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That'll be the most important thing to consistent growth when it comes to your account and navigating these markets. But good morning, everybody. Andrea, Coco, Paul, Detrice, all my people in here who are in the Kaizen event with me. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I'm excited to get back into the market swing of things. Let's see what we got going on here. Mondays, y'all know the drill, right? Mondays are our deluxe pre-market prep sessions where we're going over the week ahead as well as our Monday specific news. So let's go ahead and tackle the week ahead. As always, we're looking to get 1% better each and every session, right? Each and every session. So make sure you throw those ones in the chat, signifying your intention to get 1% better. Even on the week off, we had a number of 4 and 5 figure winners, right? That came through for us with AVGO. Kind of snuck in the middle of the week throughout PLTR. They came back with a nice 100+ return on those shorter term dated calls. We had a analyst that really was out here clout chasing that came out afterward and said they had a gluttonous valuation. It caused a little annoying, overnight sell off for the runners. But a nice little initial payment on PLTR. And then, of course, AVGO, SMCI, SPY, all of those coming through huge off of the setups that I called out the week before. That's amazing about markets. You can read charts, you can almost predict the future, right? Or at least have an idea of probabilities of what's going to go down. And you don't even need to be there for it. And that was an amazing, thing for me to be able to see you guys execute and do exactly what I want you to do, which is fish, right? Fish for yourself and not, just be kind of handed the fish dinners. So that was amazing. That was exciting. And I'm very excited about all the doors that AI has opened for me, right? The possibility of working with, you know, huge, huge, huge companies, already working with great companies and making money off of AI through our consulting firm, but continuing to work and scale and even grow. And, we had even more doors open for us this weekend. And, I'm very excited to see where it all goes. And of course, to bring my people who want to come along for the ride along with me, right? Um, because I know one thing, I'm always going to be working. So if you want to get to work and be in an environment that pushes you to do that, make sure you put yourself there, right? Shout out to my AIM people. Now, inflation news here. Inflation, this is for the week ahead, by the way. Inflation will take the spotlight next week, with that being this week, with market participants looking ahead to Friday's U.S. personal income and outlays data for May. That report will contain a reading on the core personal consumption expenditures, PCE price index, which is widely seen as the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge. Economists expect core PCE to rise 0.1% month over month and 2.6% year over year, marking a deceleration on both counts from April. U.S. economic growth will also be in focus on Thursday, as the second estimate of Q1 gross domestic product growth is scheduled for release. Turning to the earnings calendar, there's some major names on tap. The world's largest cruise line operator, Carnival, and global economic bellwether FedEx will report quarterly results on Tuesday, followed by Betty Crocker and Cheerios parent company General Mills, ticker GIS, and memory chip maker Micron Technology on Wednesday. Micron, another one that we mentioned during the Kaizen event on day one. And pharmacy chain Walgreens Boots Alliance and the world's largest shoemaker Nike on Thursday. Nike has just been an absolute in a just lull of creativity and development. Nike, really has not had any new amazing spark in their company or in their business. And I do think that artificial intelligence, could be that spark that they need if they utilize it in a great way. Again, we went through all these different applications of AI, and you got to see, that mindset and how I'm processing these tools, because the tools themselves don't do anything, right? It's how you arrange them. You see those art pieces where somebody like smashes glass and they start putting it together and then it makes some amazing like mosaic masterpiece. Like that happens because of the way their brain works, right? So if Nike can utilize these tools in a way that positions them to inject some innovation into the way that they do things, then I think that they can shake things up. But as of right now, everything they're doing has been like, oh, retro this and you know, like just all of these things where right now a lot of different sectors are looking to the past for like inspiration and like kind of resurfacing old nostalgic feelings of better times. But we've got to come up with something for the future. So we'll see if Nike has anything to say about that. Earnings Spotlight Monday, Beyond Air, Carnival on Tuesday that we talked about, Baker Hughes, FedEx. And then, Wednesday, General Mills, Levi Strauss, Micron. And then Thursday, we've got Nike, McCormick, Walgreens, and Acuity Brands. So we got some people in the earnings confessional here this week. Nice, nice, nice. Anything else very important? That looks like it's it. So PCE data, and let's check our Market Watch calendar, of course, because we always want to know what's going on in terms of the economic and politics calendar for the week. All right, Monday, 3 a.m. Wow, that makes sense. It was in Rome. I was like, what is he doing speaking at 3 a.m.? We remember the Fed Governor Christopher Waller speaking at 3 a.m., but it's in Rome. That already happened. Um, At 2 p.m., San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly. There's really only one guy that gets the markets moving from the Fed, and that's Jerome Powell. And then occasionally Kashkari, right? Um, but he's like once every 6 months, and he's not even speaking. So he can take a back seat. Tuesday, consumer confidence at 10 a.m. So Tuesday, consumer confidence at 10 a.m. is going to be like the main thing to watch out for in the economic calendar. We could get that kind of intraday volatility with that data. Maybe the market chops, and then the direction that we were actually going to go based off the technicals doesn't happen until that data comes out. And the big money kind of uses it as a smoke screen to do whatever move it was going to do. Wednesday, new home sales, really not much. GDP second revision on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Jobless claims, pending home sales. Friday is when we get the PCE data and final consumer sentiment. So Friday is going to be the biggest day in terms of data drops. CPI, I feel like the market has cared about a lot more than PCE. The Fed cares about PCE more. The market cares about CPI more. So take with that what you will. We'll still be, kind of paying attention to what data comes out this week. The market could hinge on that, but we'll see. Right, we'll see how we're moving. Um, and how we're moving and shaking here heading into that. And if we do end up getting some chop, then okay, we know, all right, you might have to look toward individual names more than broader market plays because the broader market is waiting on that PCE data. If that's the case, a lot of times when you have big data dropping, during a week, if it's like CPI inflation data or something like that, then the market can kind of stall out in anticipation of what's coming, the data that's coming. And in that case, you need to find the individual sectors that are moving, right? Like last week, at the end of 2 weeks ago, I called out hotels, right? Hotel sector. All the hotel sectors were moving over the course of last week, right? All those hotel names that I outlined. So it's really making sure that you can read the charts and you're in an environment and a community that is constantly bringing you and funneling you new opportunities so that even when the broader market is stalled, okay, what's my game plan? Focus on individual names, find strong individual names, right? Wait for the breakouts, execute. And that way, if SPY's not paying you, Marriott can pay you, right? Or any of the other tickers that we talked about. Like Hyatt, I think it was a number of them. Now let's get back to our normally scheduled pre-market prep session where we're going over our Monday specific news now after going over the week ahead. Not too big of newsletters all around, which is nice. So, top news: smoke signals. The FDA has authorized the marketing of the first non-tobacco flavored e-cigarette products in the U.S., a move that has activists, health advocates, lobbyists, and investors all weighing in on the matter. Yeah, I wouldn't say overall for like the sake of the next generation, this is a good thing, but it is what it is. I'm not out here gonna, trying to get hooked on cigarettes. So makes me no never mind, as they say in the country. Developments in the tobacco industry have been tense for decades and have renewed in recent years surrounding next generation products. The latest endorsement from the FDA will apply to 4 menthol vaping products from Enjoy, right? NJOY, owned by Altria, whose ticker is MO, which is known for brands like Marlboro, Parliament, and Virginia Slims under its subsidiary Philip Morris USA. Quote, we are a data driven agency and will continue to follow the science to inform our review of pre market tobacco applications, said Matthew Fairley, director of the Office of Science in the FDA Center for Tobacco Products. Quote, based upon our rigorous scientific review, in this instance, the strength of evidence of benefits to adult smokers from completely switching to a less harmful product was sufficient to outweigh the risks to youth. Are you sure? I feel like if you invent smoke that tastes like mango and all that stuff, we'll see the same thing that happened when Juul became popular, right? Tons of kids who get to school early and, then they're not even allowed to sit in their cars anymore and hang out because all they're doing is sitting in there and juuling, right? So I don't think, I feel like if, I don't know, that's my opinion on it is people who smoke, they need to stop smoking, right? There's like, I don't know. There's different ways. There's different ways, and it's way too much of a risk to the youth. To have stuff that tastes like cotton candy. That you can inhale and exhale for fun and feel cool. And you're like, oh, it's for older people to get off nicotine. Go choose some Nicorette, right? Like, do what you need to do. But I don't think this is the way at all. Um, Flavored e-cigarettes, including those with menthol, were previously banned in the U.S. Uh, in 2020 amid the surging use of vaping among youth and young adults. Their popularity has eased since then, but about 10% of high school age adolescents and nearly 5% of middle school students still use vaping products, which is wild. According to the CDC, many flavored items also remain available for purchase due to loopholes, a flood of illegal imports, and lack of enforcement, all while the FDA reviews a myriad of applications. Yeah, that is true. That is a major point to make. People are going to get their hands on what they want to get their hands on. And, I already know that in like New York City and stuff, when I was there, I was like, oh, isn't this, like not legal here anymore to sell the flavored pods? And people were like, oh, you just got to go to the right place, right? This bodega will have them in that spot. So people are going to get what they want to get their hands on. Talking tobacco in the company's last earnings call, Altria CEO Billy Gifford said the company saw, quote, continued early momentum from NJOY and would, quote, continue the rollout of NJOY's first retail trade program and expand the brand to 100,000 stores by year end. The pivot towards alternative products saw Altria scoop up Enjoy for $2.75 billion after its $13 billion stake in Juul went sour and eventually prompted a divestment due to lawsuits and liabilities surrounding underage vaping. Investing in tobacco or nicotine stocks still divides the industry with advantage like strong dividend yields that are looked at as recession resistant versus disadvantages such as legal risks and ethical concerns. Yeah, I don't really trade Philip Morris, right, or like Altria too much. Altria's ticker is Mo. I have before, but it's just, not something that I make a habit out of. I don't really have any like ethical dilemma with it. It is what it is. I feel the same way as if I were to trade like McDonald's, or stuff like that, right? Or like Mondelez, who comes out with snacks. Plenty of people, make money or trading like Meta, right? At the end of the day, plenty of people make money off of a lot of different things that, when you look at the effects of it, probably the net effect of it on society is negative, right? So I don't really consider it like from that standpoint where I'm like, oh no, I won't trade it because of that. It just hasn't been like a sector that has been attractive to me. But McDonald's kills people, Philip Morris kills people. Meta has a negative impact on the development, especially mentally of young girls. It's had a link to contribute to them taking their own lives. So it's like literally any company. If you want to look deep enough, plays some role in some type of negativity. That's just the duality of the world. So, when it comes to Philip Morris or anything else, whenever you're involved with something, right, and it's involved with humans and we have a finite lifespan, we're always going to make decisions that are in our own best interest. So there will always be a side of negativity to each and every opportunity. That's just how the world goes, right? But I try not to get lost too much in the weeds and again focus on what matters for yourself, which is at the end of the day all you can do. In terms of tech news, AI partnerships, more pressure is being put on Apple after being accused of violating EU tech rules. The iPhone maker is reportedly in discussions with Meta on a partnership involving the integration of Facebook parent's generative AI model into Apple Intelligence. So what? Apple just wants every AI model involved in their intelligence. It sounds like they're probably referring to Llama 3, which we talked a little bit about during Kaizen, but Llama 3 is the AI model that Meta's AI is built off of, right? The Meta AI that we all are accidentally clicking into whenever we just want to search someone's name. And yeah, kind of annoying, but it could help the companies play catch up in the AI race. With Apple already working to onboard a variety of generative AI offerings like the integration of OpenAI's ChatGPT. Speaking of AI partnerships, TikTok owner ByteDance is collaborating with Broadcom, whose ticker is AVGO, man, pay the freak up. AVGO was an absolute bankable wonder last week, right? Came through with some big gains for a number of us, right? Including a big ol' 30K win, right, for a group member. And I'm looking to continue to ride the AVGO wave, right? But they're collaborating with TikTok's owner, ByteDance, on an advanced AI chip with the aim of securing a stable supply amid rising Sino US trade tensions. So Broadcom, man, there's so much opportunity. If you don't want to take advantage of what's going on in markets, that's completely on you. But there is so much opportunity that you cannot say that there is a lack of it, right? If you want to complain, then you can complain and do so on your own, but it's not because anyone is stopping you from winning, right? You've got to look deep inside yourself and say, do I actually want to win or do I actually feel a lot better being where I am, uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable enough to move and just feeling good complaining about what's going on, right? Because there are people who would kill with the opportunity for the opportunity of what's happening right now, both in markets and outside of them with this AI technology, right? So you got to look at it just from the positive lens. Everything you could look at from the negative lens, you could wait for something to take your job, or you can go out there and use that as the pole vault pole to get you a huge distance from point A all the way to point D, right? Without you having to run A, B, C, D. I think that's amazing. And I can't wait to, for everyone who, again, everyone who's in and everyone who's down, and everyone who wants to leverage this technology, let's work together, right? I could not imagine more fun than having like-minded people gathered together, continuing to leverage this tech and integrate it in order to make their personal and professional lives easier, right? It's much easier to go further alone than it is, further together than it is alone. So don't make excuses. You can make money or you can make excuses, right? You can make strides or you can make excuses. Don't make excuses. Be where you need to be. Put yourself in the position where you are forced to do what you need to do. That's what I like to do. It's like, listen, I put yourself in the position where you're forced to continue to learn and to grow and to evolve in the areas that you want to. I have to continue to get better when it comes to stock market analysis and tools and all that. I have to. Why? Because I have a community of people that are looking to do the exact same thing, right? That are relying on me and I'm relying on them, all of us to bring our A game. That puts you in a position where you need to move. A lot of people will not move unless they absolutely need to. Put yourself in a position where you have to push, right? Where everyone around you is pushing and you have to push. Turn off the Netflix. Who cares about, Bridgerton, or I love, House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones? Who cares about any of it? Turn it off. If you're not where you need to be, learn, grow, study, right? Do what you need to do. Get in that environment that wants you to push, that causes you to continue to push, and you'll see amazing things happen. Um, but nothing worth doing ever happened from the comfort zone. So you got to get out of there first and foremost. Financials. Clearing competition, Intercontinental Exchange, ticker ICE, which operates the New York Stock Exchange, is planning to seek regulatory approval to clear U.S. Treasuries, though its existing clearinghouse, ICE, clear through its existing clearinghouse, ICE Clear Credit. Discussions are ongoing with the SEC as the company prepares its application for review. Quote, we are trying to be the least disruptive as possible by using an entity that is familiar and has the right registration, said Chris Edmonds, president of fixed income and data services at ICE. Other companies that have shown interest in offering central clearing services in the wake of the SEC's new rules include the London Stock Exchange and CME. And financials are, on kind of watch here this week. Mastercard had a nice kind of breakout there, breaking that weekly downtrend last week. So Mastercard and a number of other financials are kind of a good sector to take a look at here. As we head into the week, we have a number of setups. There are always setups here in this market. Chewy looked like it had some opportunity here this week. Moderna looks like it has some to the downside. Tesla's got to continue to prove itself because you guys know how I feel about Tesla at this point. It's gotta work itself out of the hole and really, really prove itself through multiple feats for me to, kind of look back at it and be like actively navigating it and things like that. But yeah, plenty of opportunity along the way, even on, names that we haven't traded in a while or looked at, like Zoom, right? Zoom hitting nice long-term support that it's always bounced from since I think it was 2021 in this area. So a ton of different, looks here this week. But speaking of financials, financials is one of those sectors that looks like it could have some nice bullish movement that can pay up and make it a great end of June for us. June flew by, but I'm not mad at it. You're happy when months fly by and you're getting 1% better daily. Like life is so much better when you just do little things to know that you are getting better. Like I don't have to guess. Like man, am I better than I was last month? Did I waste all of this time? Like what have I done? No, I know for sure. Why? Because I've been here, right? We've been here. We were at Kaizen, right? We are a part of AIM, right? AI made easy. We will continue to push and learn and grow along with these tools. So I don't like it helps so many other points in my life where I'm like, oh, am I really doing this? Am I really doing that? Yeah, I'm hitting all of those points because I'm getting 1% better and I'm putting myself outside of my comfort zone and I'm in rooms that I wasn't in before, right? And that's where I'm meeting these people and making these opportunities and opportunity meets you in motion, right? So just continue to stay in motion. But we're 6 months. We're now over the hump. We're over the halfway point of 2024. So it's like, make it happen, right? Make it happen. Get involved. Get excited because this is the most. I literally was praying this morning. I was just like, thank you for making me alive during this point in history. Like this is just such. This is just such a crazy time to be alive and such a fun time where you can see humanity really, really round a corner and everything change. And so many people lived in just boring times with nothing going on. And like I love that I was picked and I was destined and you were destined to be alive in a time such as this with all of these things happening, right? To really, really witness an amazing time in history and do something with it. Couldn't ask for a bigger blessing. Global news, tariff talk, looking to avoid escalating trade conflicts. China and the EU have agreed to hold talks over the latter's anti-subsidy investigation of Chinese electric vehicles. Observers have reportedly said Beijing wants the EU to scrap its tariff decision before July 4th, warning that, quote, the increasingly protectionist moves will definitely trigger countermeasures from the Chinese side. The bloc's proposed EV tariffs of up to 38.1% will go into effect next month and are expected to be finalized on November 2nd. Note that 100% duties are imposed on Chinese EVs in the US, while Canada is said to be considering similar measures. Now, overall mixed bag on markets here in Asia. Japan, we're up 0.5%, Hong Kong flat, China down 1.2, India up zero point 0.2, the FTSE in London up 0.5, Paris up 0.9, Frankfurt up 0.5, Dow up 0.3, S&P up 0.1, essentially flat. NASDAQ down zero point 0.1, also essentially flat. Let me see if that's changed at all since. Yeah, looking to open literally exactly where we closed on SPY. Crude oil up 0.2%, gold up 0.3, Bitcoin down 4.9%, Bitcoin taking a load off. What else is happening? Real estate home prices in the US hit a new record high. What else is new? Insurer Prudential, ticker PUK, unveils $2 billion share buyback program. Houthi rebels said to hit another ship in the Red Sea with a drone. Microsoft, ticker MSFT, has a hidden $100 billion opportunity. Freight, mergers and acquisitions, UPS sells Coyote Logistics to RXO. Inside Out 2 racks up $100 million in second weekend to set record. I saw it on the opening weekend. Bailey wanted to go, and that we saw it the weekend that it came out. It was a great movie. We just watched Inside Out 1 with her niece again on Saturday. So both are amazing movies that stand to teach you a lot, even as an adult. So I definitely recommend you go out and see them. And I've had some great conversations about it. Now that I'm seeing that more people have seen it, maybe I could share what I thought was my favorite part of the movie. It was just super inspiring and really like caused some conviction, like spiritually for me, that I was like, wow, that is so true. And I never thought about it that way, but it is just extremely true. And once you call it out for what it is, it helps to free you from that bondage that you're experiencing. Because once something has a name, right, you can identify it and you can subject it to energy that can work against it, right? When something has a name and you can identify and speak out against it actively, right? It's a whole different ball game. Once you know your enemy, you've got all that you need to win. Um, so maybe I'll throw a little post on Facebook about my favorite part of Inside Out too. And if you haven't seen it, definitely see it. I'll throw a little disclaimer there. It might have a small spoiler in it, but it's very small. Chinese fast fashion firm Shein may abandon London IPO plan. Trump media ticker DJT expects $69.4 million from warrant exercise. Is Nike losing traction to Adidas? Yes. Huge gap between growth and small cap, but not a bubble. That'll wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. Put a bow on it and take us out. I'm so happy to be back. It's June 24th, 2024, 6/24/24. Somebody know, let me know the significance of those numbers, the angel numbers, whatever. Um, but I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the future. I'm pumped for what's ahead. I'm pumped for what's right now. Let's continue to get 1% better, knock it out of the park, and close the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Blessed to be alive. Let's make sure we honor that blessing and get to work, baby. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning for our next market prep session. Have a good one.